This is Drishti Paint, and let's have a look at the new improved curves facility. So let's load a data set. So I'm loading simple dataset engine. We are currently in the graph cut mode, as you can see it from here. And if I press the question mark, then I'll get the help for graph cuts. But in this video, let's have a look at the curves facility. So in the modes, I'll select curves, and this is the curves. These two modes look very similar when you look at these windows. But if you look at these colors here, the background color, then the background color of curves and graph cuts is slightly different. So this is curves facility, and that's the help for the curves here. So what curves allow you to do is you can draw the curves in the panel and then interpolate them, and then you can bake the curves so that you can then label the data and look at it in 3D here. So let me just remove the curve. So you can make the window bigger like this. And then when you click the same button, then it just goes to the default view. Now, if you want to see what slice you are on, then you can just select the position here. So that's the position here. And then using control and then mouse move, you can see the slices changing here. So for example, if I want to look here, it's this one here. So I'm pressing control and then just moving the mouse, and these slices also change. And then you can also see the cursor here. Now let's try to segment the data. So suppose I want to paint this. In the graph cut mode, you can just go in and paint. So for example, you can, in this one here, select a tag, and then you can go in and paint. Like in graph cuts mode, it's the same. You can paint in the 3D here. So this is the section that we have painted. Now let's use curves to label this region here. So I want to label this region here. So let me draw the curve. So I've selected this window here. So you can see this green here. So this is in focus. Now this window is in focus. So whichever window you make larger is the one that is in focus. But you can also change the focus by clicking on the image like this. Anyway, so let's create the curve here. So new curve, and then just draw the curve. So I'm using the left mouse button and then dragging the left mouse button to draw the curve. New curve. So these are the curves here that we have drawn. And let's draw another curve here. And then let's interpolate these curves. So interpolate. So by pressing interpolate, we have interpolated these curves, as you can see. And now, once these curves are interpolated, whatever is visible within this region, we can tag it. So this is the transfer function I have selected here, and I want to tag that. So I can bake the curves now, bake the curves. And so what it says is everything visible within the interpolated curves will be labeled with the given label value. So currently the label value here is 0. Let's tag it with 4. So let's label it with 4. Done. So if you move that, and then you can see it here, we have labeled it. And now you can see this is the 3D view. So these are the curves that we have generated. So these are the curves that we created, and then that's the curve. Those are the curves that we have interpolated. And you can see here, that's the interpolated curve. So you can see these interpolated curves here. We can do similar, for example, let's tag using curves in here. So what I can do is I can just remove these curves by hovering over the curve and then pressing delete. So all the interpolated curves will be deleted. And I can also remove the curves by going to individual curves and then pressing delete, or you can just say remove all, which will remove all the curves within this slice. So remove all the Z curves. So all the curves are removed, and then you can see there are no curves here. So let's tag that one. So this is selected now. Let's split. So new curve. Now what I'll do is I'll just select this curve here. So Control C, copy the curve, and then I can paste the curve here. Control V, and then Control V, and then I can just move it. So using the middle mouse button, I'm moving this curve, and then there's another curve, and then we can interpolate them. Say using interpolate. So you can see so that is what we have selected here. Now what I want to do is I want this last curve to be slightly smaller. So what I can do is let me just delete the interpolated curves and go back here, and then I can make it smaller by hovering the cursor over the curve and then pressing E. E is for erosion. So I'm eroding this curve. So I'm making this curve smaller. I'm just eroding this curve here, and then I'll just move it using the middle mouse button. So let's interpolate again, and then see how it goes. It's not too bad. Let me also erode this, and let me remove and re-interpolate. Okay, so I'm happy. And then let's bake it, and let's see label number 3. So this is what we have tagged. Now we get that it's because in the last section here, this is touching that. So one way to fix is change the curves here, or we can go here and then use the paint facility. And then tag 3. So you can use painting in conjunction with slices. So let me stop here, and then we'll have a look at more functionality in another video.